Hello and welcome to All About Billings. We are a show dedicated to discovering the people that make Billings a great place to work and live. We will interview local business people, entrepreneurs, community leaders, artists, entertainers, and we will learn from them all about their successes, their failures, and their connection to Billings. I'm your host, Nancy Brooke, broker and owner at Billings Best Real Estate. And today it is my pleasure to have as my guests two ladies from the Junior League. So we have Hannah Olson and Amy Riesinger. And today we're going to talk about not only a couple of conferences that they have upcoming, but we will also discuss the Junior League and how it benefits our community. So welcome to the show, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. So Junior League, let's start with that. What is the Junior League?
You want to take the lead on
Sure.
this?
So Junior League is a women's service organization. We're dedicated to determining what the biggest need is in our community, and then we empower women in our organization to help address whatever that need is.
Yeah, and along with that too, we have a heavy emphasis on leadership development, so that we are helping women develop into leaders, so that we're empowering them to not only fulfill needs that the community has, but also to advance in their own personal lives and their careers, and to develop and to create a space for women to network and build relationships with other, I hate to say like-minded because I think it's a really diverse group of women, but women who all share passion and commitment for their community.
For their community, and it sounds like empowering themselves and supporting each other.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that's really a great organization goal.
Yes.
How long has Junior League been around?
The Junior League itself is over 100 years old, and it's a national organization.
Right.
Actually, it's an international organization because there are chapters in Canada, Mexico, and the UK. In Billings, I think we're a little over 50, 75 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Strangely, every once in a while, I'll look through old Billings Gazettes. I do sometimes a day in history, and I'll see things about the Junior League from 50,
70
years ago. So I was wondering how long
I think
it's
it's
been.
70 over. I think it's 75 years.
And it's been too. They've had a really big impact on Billings, I think, in ways that a lot of people don't realize. Like for organizations that Junior League founded and helped develop, and then were able to hand off so that they could become independent organizations. So Tumbleweed is one of them, and then Wise Wonders, the Children's Museum, is another one that Junior League started. So projects like that, like we create small community projects, and then the goal is to grow them into something sustainable like that.
Well, that's really important.
It's
isn't
very
it?
important.
Yeah.
So you obviously have been members for a while, and you're the president. Why would somebody be interested in joining this group?
I actually joined in Savannah when I lived there, and for me it was a way to network and meet other people who were interested in being part of the community. And when I moved to Billings 7 years ago, the first thing I actually did was transferred my membership from Savannah to Billings, because truly for me it's a way to get to know people. Like Hannah said, it's a safe space to learn and develop. I have learned a lot in my almost 20 years as a Junior League member, things I never would have experienced in my professional world. So for me, it's been that leadership, but also it's a way for me to meet people.
So just really great connections.
Very good connections.
And how about you, Hannah?
I joined, it's been about 6 years now, and I joined kind of at the start of my professional career. I wanted to take things to the next level, network, meet other women, and also find an opportunity to do that, to have opportunities for personal and professional growth, but also finding ways to give back to my community. And I really liked the versatility of Junior League in the way that it provides both of those things, while also exposing you to all different kinds of nonprofit organizations and service organizations in the community. So you get, you're able to volunteer and learn about and work with a lot of organizations. And I felt like that was a really great opportunity rather than just committing to one organization, because then I could kind of, through learning and discovering, decide which organizations then I wanted to do more work with after that. So it's been really rewarding in that way, and I think also a great way to meet some incredible women. I have a lot of friends, and it's great because friends with women of all ages, all professional backgrounds, different belief systems, and we're all here together, because we, care about the same things. And so I think that that's a really important thing to have as a woman.
Sure. Well, and it's really nice to connect with women through different generations too,
Yeah.
because I don't know about you, but I have a very young agent who works with me, and it's really fun to see where she's at in her career, and then I have people who are a little younger, a little older, but it's really fun to have that multi-generational aspect.
It
Yeah,
is.
and women that you develop these relationships with and get to work with that otherwise we probably never would have crossed paths. And I think that I'm really grateful for Junior League for putting us all together for that
Right.
purpose.
You mentioned that a lot of the work is raising money for community needs. How do these get chosen?
That's actually a really good question, because we're about to go through that process. We just sunsetted a project that the league had been doing, I think, for about 10 years, and we would do laundry, because at the time the league members did a needs assessment and realized that laundry was a big issue for a lot of people in Billings. So we would go once a month to a laundromat, bring money, and we would pay for whoever was there that day to do their laundry. And the need started to get, a lot of other organizations were also doing that work. So we thought, well, maybe it's time for us to look at a different project. So what we'll do over the next league cycle is have a strategic planning committee convene and really look at what are some other needs in the community that we might be able to address as an organization.
So
we don't know quite yet.
So what types of things? So you mentioned the laundry. Give me some other examples that could be considered in a group like this.
Well, if you think back on our history, like Junior League starting the tumbleweed program because they recognized that there was a need for unhoused teens and youth, and also those who are escaping a bad situation or who don't have another place to go because other shelters don't admit children without adults. So how do we, and not children, but teens and younger people. So addressing that need and starting that at a very grassroots level. I think when it originated, Junior League members were taking these teens into their homes.
Yep.
And so it evolved into this larger thing that's now self-sustaining and thriving organization. And also, if you look at Wise Wonders, they saw a need for science education and for a children's museum in the community, and it didn't exist. So they started at a very small level, grassroots level, where they had what they called Museum Without Walls. So they went and throughout the community to different events to provide these exhibits until it could become, again, a self-sustaining organization that's now also grown and is thriving. And so with the laundry project, it was something that we filled a need for a while, for 10 years in the community, and it got enough notice with the project and recognized the need that other organizations started taking on that work and providing resources for people in need to be able to still do that. So then we kind of felt like, okay, now we can take a step back and now figure out what's next. So it's hard to say what the next thing is going to be, or even theorize what it could be, because there's so many needs in the community.
Sure.
And I think it's also, there's also a huge amount of nonprofit organizations in the community. And so, I think we're also cautious not to duplicate a service that already exists. We like to partner and empower other organizations who are doing work that we believe in. But if we're going to take on a new project, we definitely want it to be something unique that's not already being done, that would fill a need that's currently not being met in the community.
Well, it just strikes me like laundry. It would never occur to me that people would need some assistance with laundry. And it makes sense, but that's why it's so interesting that you came upon that as something that was needed in the community. So that's kind of curious to me, like, how do you find these
and the
options?
ripple effect of that need is so vast, because it's as much as a child not going to school because they don't have clean clothes and they don't feel comfortable going to school, or people who can't get jobs because they're not getting hired because their clothes aren't clean. And how do you get a job to afford to be able to do the laundry if you don't have the clean clothes to begin with. So I think that was the idea in the beginning, for sure, was to fill that need and be able to provide that for people.
And every junior league chapter, they decide what their focus is. For us, it's women, children, poverty issues. When I was in Savannah, very similar. Actually, Savannah and Billings have a lot of similarities. But the need we recognized there was hunger. So we did backpack buddies. So we would pack food for some of the Title I schools in the community. So really it is finding what's that community need and trying to address it as best we can.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're going to have a strategic meeting on this. So do people all kind of come up with research and bring ideas forth, or do community people give input? How do you go about?
Yeah, I mean, we'll
figuring out
definitely,
what to do?
the committee will involve, other organizations and groups and, talk to other community groups, schools, nonprofits, other service organizations, and figure out what is a need that's not being met or that maybe isn't being met to the level that it needs to be met, and how could we create something or a new project that could help meet that need.
And so how do you get money for these projects?
That's a great question.
It is a good question.
We do some fundraising events, and we'll talk about those in a minute. And then once we have the project, we also do some grant fundraising as well, grant writing to get funds that way. And that was a huge help with our laundry project. And then outside of that, we also approach businesses in the community. We get a lot of sponsorships and folks who are really interested in supporting whatever project it is that we're doing at that time.
Well, that's pretty cool that you write grants for these. Wow.
Yeah. Hannah and I both have been grant writers.
Yeah.
So that's one of the,
Yeah, but we have an administrative director, Jennifer Massey, who is kind of the backbone of the Junior League organization. She is our sole paid staff, and the degree of work that she commits to the organization is pretty incredible. And she's been a longtime member. And so when the previous administrative director, I think, was there for over 40 years, retired, Jen stepped in, and she's been incredible. So she runs everything. And so we also, because we have one paid staff person, we rely a lot on the volunteers and the board, and it's a big responsibility for those of us who are involved to that degree. But yeah, what she does is also, that we couldn't do anything without her.
So what's made you the most proud of being in this organization?
I will say in the immediate, the conference that we're working on right now is probably the thing that I've been the most proud of. But I think really it's about the diversity of the women in the organization. Makes me proud to be part of it, because I have had the opportunity to meet people, like Hannah said. My path never would have crossed with some of these people. So for me, it's about the women who choose to give back and are part of the organization.
I agree. I think too with Junior League, it's funny because so many people don't understand what Junior League is. It's it doesn't have anything to do with baseball, which is a common misconception. But also, I think at its roots, like historically, especially on the East Coast, it's kind of known for being a wealthy housewives organization, and so I think it's kind of fun to challenge that, because that's obviously not what we're made up of here. And granted, we have people, we have working and non-working women in our group, and everybody, we want everybody there, and but it's not, it's not an elitist group. It's a group of women who really our one commonality is that we really just care about the community and want to find ways to make it better.
I suppose, and maybe at one point, it was socialites who had time to meet. I mean, maybe 75 years ago. That makes sense.
Yes.
But anymore, most people either have a job or are incredibly busy. So,
there's some women who are really committed to the organization, and I don't understand how they make time for it, which is, I think, really cool to know that they care that much about it, because they've got, multiple children and jobs and commitments and activities, and they're all showing up, and so that makes it worth it, and it makes you want to commit just as much as them. So
well, it does take a lot of time and effort to, of course, be somebody who's giving back to the community, and especially when you're busy yourself. You two are working and you're doing this, and I'm sure you have a lot of other things on your plate, but you find time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. So our big event coming up is the Women's Leadership Conference, and it's in its 9th year, right?
9th.
Yes. This is our 9th year of having it. We even had it during COVID. We did a virtual conference in that year. And so it's been really cool to watch it grow and evolve every year. This year is especially exciting because for the first time ever, we have completely sold out of our registrations. So that's been really, really incredible because not only the conference meets both of our missions, which is to empower and develop women into leaders and promote civic engagement, while also raising money to put toward a project for our next project that we want to do. So it really is exciting to see it thrive and be successful and to be sold out.
It's exciting.
It's really exciting.
So obviously next year you'll have the conference as well. Speakers won't be the same. But what can people expect at these conferences? So you do have a lineup of speakers, from what I understand?
Yeah.
We have 9 breakout speakers, and new this year we have added, rather than a keynote speaker, we're doing a panel of women who are in the philanthropic space. They work in philanthropy. Hannah will be moderating that. So we have 4 really probably people know in the community who will be talking about how they got into the philanthropy space, why they continue to do this, how their organizations are addressing needs in the community. So really trying to make it a very well-rounded conference with speakers who have all kinds of fun experience and also talking about giving back to the community.
Well, and from what I understand from some of the speakers you're having, everybody isn't necessarily in the nonprofit space. You have people who are doing lots of things, creative people and business people, and so. But the overriding theme is the leadership, right?
Yeah, every year has a different theme, and the cool thing I like about it too is that it really is a conference for every woman because with the sessions there's something there for everyone. So we've had over the years sessions about mental health, about overcoming failure, about balancing. We did one time on financial literacy. We've had, it's run the gamut of all of the topics you can imagine. And so when you look at the list, there really is, I think there's always something that's going to speak to you and that you're going to feel like that's the one I want to go to. And it doesn't matter what stage of your career, if you're working, retired, if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you're a student, it's just something for everyone. So that's something I think that makes it especially unique.
Right.
And then because of that, it brings together a really diverse audience of women that you get to connect with. And I think that's one of my favorite things about it.
Sure. And especially when a lot of them are going to be from Billings. Some of them might be from other parts of Montana or the country.
Yeah.
So that's really a unique opportunity to have a room full of women.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
a lot of people you might not know.
Yes.
A lot.
Yeah.
I looked at the attendance
I
list.
don't know hardly any of them, which I feel like I'm pretty connected, and I'm like, I don't know any of these women, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we do get quite a few who come in from out of town, which is also fantastic because that's kind of our goal is to grow this beyond Billings. And last year our goal was to move it and kind of elevate it and grow it because it had been sustaining for so many years as it was, and so we moved it downtown to the Northern, and they've been such incredible hosts, and we love having events there. And just to elevate it a little, we added some things like a cocktail party the night before to just create an additional opportunity for networking, and then we really tried to grow it that way. And then this year we were able to harness that momentum, and Amy, as the chair this year, really took it to the next level, and her focus was a lot of continuing that momentum, but also getting more in sponsors. So we're able to alleviate the burden of the cost and the fundraising on the attendees, and able to raise a lot of that money through sponsorships, which is awesome.
When we looked at the numbers this week on Wednesday, so we've sold out as far as attendance goes, and it looks as though we will net about double what we did last year.
Wow.
And I'm the committee chair. That's really what my goal, my role was. It was the team that, and speaking of Jen Massey, really she is the one who sort of organizes the chaos behind the scenes
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, we kind of are like,
Yeah.
would it be cool if we try this, or we need to reach out to all these people? And she's like, I've got
She's
it,
on
it's
it.
done. She's like, the amount of emailing and calling she does to make everything happen is pretty great.
Yep. And
Wow.
we also have vendors who come. So we'll have, I think we actually did double the number of vendors. We'll have 15 this year.
Okay.
And it's all kinds of, we have all kinds of, Girl Scouts will be there.
Oh.
Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter will be there, Ford, Montana. So again, other organizations in the community, civic-minded, and know that this is a place where they can get in front of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, you should be very proud if you've
We are very proud of
doubled
it.
your income
Yeah.
and have a record attendance and you're
Yeah,
all
it's
sold
really
out.
It's been fun.
Because this isn't happening until the end of March,
Yep.
right?
March, actually, a week
Next
from today.
Friday.
Yeah,
Okay.
a week from
Okay.
today.
Next Friday.
Okay,
Yep. So,
so-
we're in the end stages now
Okay.
to get everything wrapped up. Last year we also do early bird registration, and those people get a VIP gift bag full of things. Even the gift bags this year are. We have some fun stuff going in the bags, and we doubled the number of
Early registration.
registrations this year too.
Well, and you also have an event happening in June. So why don't you
Yes.
tell? So
Yep.
that's not sold out.
No, we haven't.
So
We are
that's good.
just opening registration for this event. I'm really excited because the goal is to create a new signature event for Billings and for the Junior League. And so it's called the Women's Collective, and it is a two-faceted event where we are basically trying to empower and promote women-owned businesses and creators. So artists, designers, musicians, business owners. We're going to give them a platform and a space to show what they've got to the community. So we're going to have a fashion show. We're going to have live entertainment and music. We'll have catered food, and it's going to be at the Billings Depot on the evening of Tuesday, June 10th. And then we'll also have a vendor fair. Then it's going to be a juried vendor show. So we are being really selective with the businesses. You have to be woman-owned and local, and offering something unique. And we're going to have, a limit on each type of business that can be present.
So arts, crafts, those sorts
yeah,
of
or like
things?
local boutiques is
Okay.
and local owned small businesses is really
Okay.
our target. So if you're a local business owner and you have a new boutique, or you're a jewelry designer, or you have your own clothing line, I know there's a lot of that, especially in the Native communities. We really want to bring all of them together, and so create a fun girls' night out. It'll be all ages appropriate. So if you want to bring your daughters or your mothers or your friends and come out for an evening and enjoy good food, and then be able to walk around and see all kinds of different businesses, and you can shop and get some great deals, and also just learn about all these different businesses because they're all over the community. And I think that it's, some of us just kind of exist in our bubbles, and we don't necessarily even know that some of these great businesses exist. So
Isn't that the truth?
yeah,
Yeah.
so we really want to bring
Yeah.
them out and from the dark and show them off to everyone, and really empower their success.
Well, and we did have your website address up. Why don't you tell us what the website is? Because tickets are going to be available sometime soon, right?
Yes, they should be available like this week, and it's juniorleagueofbillings.org.
Okay, and so if you're watching this when it first airs, that's where you can find those tickets. Or if you're watching it months from now, let's see what else is going on.
Yeah,
Sounds like you guys
exactly.
have a lot
Yeah.
of things going on. Now, the other thing I heard you talk about before the show is that you are just about ready to embark on a membership drive.
We are.
So let's hear about that.
We're always recruiting new
We
members.
are always
Always,
recruiting.
always.
But our league year starts. It winds down in May, and then we, ramp up again and start the new league year in June. So Amy, I'll be the outgoing president, and Amy is president-elect, so she'll be the incoming president. So I'll let her take that on.
And the interesting thing is, this is my second time being a league president. I was president in Savannah too. This one's a lot more fun.
Oh, good.
It's a lot more open, I think I would say. So we are always recruiting members, but during the summer and leading up to the fall, we really do start sort of go into overdrive to recruit new members. The past couple of years, as we know, have been a struggle for a lot of, especially membership organizations. I work for a membership organization, and we all really struggled the last few years with COVID, but we're starting to see a bounce back, and I think we see it through the conference.
Yeah.
But also memberships are starting to increase again. So we're going to try to harness that energy at the conference next week through the new event, the collective, so that we have more hands in the organization to help us do whatever the next project is, and really try to reinforce that leadership development piece of it. You know, when you join the league, you may be like, Hannah and I have both been in nonprofit for a long time, so we get to do things like fundraising and public speaking. Somebody who works in a different industry may never have the opportunity to do a fundraising event and learn what that means. So we really make it a safe space for new members, people who want to try new things and sort of step out of their comfort zone in a safe space.
So what are the meetings like? Are they once a month, once a week?
So that's a great question. So for, and I'll say too, just before I answer that, this is like the best time I think to get involved, because we are, like, it's just a new era, really. We're starting a new project, we're creating new events, and we've done a huge push for recruitment. So we have a lot of new members. So if you're wanting to get involved in something, you're not alone as the newbie, and everything's fresh. So even those of us who have been there for a while, everything's going to be new for all of us. So that's exciting. So what we do, we have a monthly general membership meeting, and we host those, like I said, monthly, and everyone comes together. We have a different theme. Sometimes we do a leadership development activity. Sometimes we bring in a nonprofit to teach us about what they do in their organization and share any volunteer opportunities they might have. Sometimes we've done panels before. We did one on providers of domestic violence survivor services in October. We've done human trafficking panel. We do all kinds, I mean, it's very diverse. And then intermixed between all of the monthly meetings that happen from September through June, we also create monthly social activities to provide opportunities just to
mingle,
just to have fun. Yeah.
get to know one another.
Yep.
And then it sounds like people are involved in committees as well.
Yeah, we have committees for the different events that we have, and then we'll have a committee for our upcoming service project that's yet to be determined. We'll have a committee that focuses a lot on that. So I think, like, again, there's something there for everyone. So if your focus is more development, like professional or leadership development, or if it's more service oriented, or if it's social, there's something for everybody there. So,
And so are there any requirements for somebody to join, other than, I suppose, you have to be a female adult?
Yeah, you just have to be a woman.
A woman over
the age
18?
of over 21.
Over
I think
21,
it's 21.
okay.
It's still 21.
Yeah. Okay.
It's funny because there used to be back in the older days of junior league, there would be there was a cap actually on the age that you could join.
Oh, okay.
I think at some point we realized that is not necessary, and that was a league-wide rule. Now, any age, as long as you're interested in focusing on community work, developing your leadership skills, and just want to be part of a organization that's trying to do good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, ladies, you are very empowering, very inspirational. I love your energy and your enthusiasm for being a part of the Billings community. And it's been great having you here. And folks, thanks so much for watching today. We look forward to seeing you next time on All About Billings.